Welcome to Tripodcast, episode 265. It's Monday, December 3rd. And this week, Dick continues his conversations about attitudes, the attitudes you need to help grow your business. In today's Tripodcast, Dick talks about the three types of employees that exist in typical organizations. And then he continues with a number of quotes to help you think about the attitude you need for the changes your organization faces. Let's listen in.
This week, I want to continue our discussion on the attitudes that we need to grow our companies. You see, every company, as I see it, is made up of three types of people. And I want to talk to you about those three types of people, and as I talk about that, determine which one of those you are. You see, there are the sponges, there are the spectators, and there are the camels in every organization. The sponges are usually those newer employees that want to learn everything they can. If they really want to come to work with you and really want to succeed in the job, in the career that they've chosen, they're going to try to learn everything they can on how to be better at what they do. They absorb everything. That's why we call them sponges. They absorb everything they're being told, good and bad for that matter. And this group generally makes up about 30% of a workforce, the sponges. And like I said, generally, but not always, they're the newer ones on the workforce. And then you have the spectators, as we call them. They're about two-thirds, or about 65% of the workforce. And they're the ones who are looking around. They're at the job looking around to see what's going on and what's not going on and who they can blame for what's going on, and they waste an enormous amount of time watching and not working. They're quick to complain about everything that's wrong. They bring their lunch every day in a lunch bucket. Actually, it's not the lunch in the bucket, it's a binocular so that they can be looking around and seeing what everybody's doing, so they can point the finger and blame somebody if something goes wrong. I'm just kidding. But they are usually the complainers, aren't they? And do you know anybody like that? Do you know anybody that's what we would call a spectator, that is quick to criticize, quick to blame? Maybe isn't the most motivated person in the world. Then there are the camels, I like to affectionately call the camels. They make up about the remaining 5% of the workforce. And you guessed it, they're the ones that when you really want a job done, you go to them and you say, I really need this done. They're the ones that the more they're doing, the more that seems to get done. They're the ones you go to if you have a deadline, or if a customer calls to complain and you know that if you turn it over to Sam or Sue, it will get done and you don't have to worry about it. Now, having said that, which one are you? Which one are you? Hopefully you're one of the camels. I hope you are. And if you are, you're to be commended. Or if you're in the sponge category, hopefully you're going to skip over the spectator group. And one of the things is that you need to keep the sponges away from the spectators as much as you can. Kind of like that old, it's kind of like that old story about Casey Stengel, the New York Yankee manager back in the 40s and the 50s, and they asked him what his secret to success was. And he said, the secret to success in my dugout is keeping those that hate me away from those that haven't made up their mind yet. And this is kind of the thing in our business, is we kind of keep the sponges away from the spectators. In keeping with the attitudes needed to grow a company, I want to kind of close this session, if I may, on some of my favorite quotes that come from a variety of different sources. These help me in my business attitude growth, and I hope they will you. I'm going to, for the purposes to get them accurate and to give proper credit where credit is due, I'm going to be reading them. So bear with me as I look at my notes and read them to you. From Tom Peters. He said, if the other guy's getting better, then you'd better be getting better faster than the other guy's getting better, or you're getting worse. Now, I want you to write that one down and say it very fast. You'll notice I kind of slowed up and read it very meticulously because it's a tough one. If the other guy's getting better, then you'd better be getting better faster than the other guy's getting better, or you're getting worse. From Clay Carr, he says, to satisfy the customer, it means that everybody in the company has to understand that the total existence of a company depends upon the customer. So if the customer is not satisfied, he is not going to be a customer tomorrow. And if he's not a customer tomorrow, we don't have a customer. We don't have a business tomorrow. Think about that. Everybody has a customer. If you work in the payroll department, your customer are the employees to get their paychecks out. Everybody has a customer. I have a former administrative person in my office who told me one day, she said, Dick, we could sure get a lot more done around here if the customers would quit calling. Well, it didn't take me long for me to figure out I needed to take her to lunch and buy hers to go, because I couldn't have someone in my organization that didn't want customers calling, because that's the only reason we were in business. So, anyway, here's another one from Service America. If you're not satisfying the customer, you'd better be satisfying someone who is. And from Bernard Berenson, he says, I wish I could stand on a busy corner, hat in hand, and beg people to throw me all their wasted hours. From Dick Ollek, when you say that's not my job, the one you have won't be for long either. From Zig Ziglar, many people quit looking for work as soon as they find a job. Got to think about that one. That's your spectators. Many people quit looking for work as soon as they find a job. From Sherman Potter, you remember Colonel Potter from MASH, he said, never make 7 people mad when all you're doing is carrying a 6-shooter. From Al Batt, it's easy to sit up and take notice. What is difficult is to get up and take action. Now, each of these that I've just given you are a subject in a future Tripodcast. I can make an entire Tripodcast on each one of these. So I kind of wanted to throw them out there for you, and at some point coming down the road, we'll do a Tripodcast on each one of these particular sayings. So, but I do want to follow up Al Batt's quote, where he said, it's easy to sit up and take notice. What is difficult is to get up and take action. Well, let me ask you, will your organization just take notice, or will you be taking action? You see, the decision is entirely up to you. Thanks for watching.
You've been listening to a Tripodcast, short video and audio presentation about important topics in our industry. If you're a current subscriber to the Tripodcast, thank you. We appreciate it. If you're not yet a subscriber, please check it out. It's free and it's easy. Come to www.tripodcast.com, enter your email address on the right-hand column, and click subscribe. We'll send you out a new Tripodcast every Monday morning.